I refuse to believe this phrase, I'm too busy. The reason I refuse to believe that is because everyone has the same amount of time in the world. If it is true that I'm too busy, then what I have to change is me, or how I manage my time, or who I'm bringing in to help me manage what I need to do. If you want to grow your business way beyond your dreams, remove this phrase from your vocabulary, I don't have time, or I'm too busy. Instead, say this, I choose to put my time here instead, or I choose to hire someone to help me with this instead. When you do that, you start managing your time like an asset instead of like a slave driver that's controlling everything you do. Time has no power over us, other than we only live for so long. We get this time and we're free to choose how to use it. The same 24 hours I get, the President of the United States gets, the person in Germany gets, someone in prison gets. In fact, everyone has the same amount of time to use. And the question is how we use it and how do we manage that time effectively. One of the most motivating things in my life is looking to people who are far ahead of me. I am managing multi-million-dollar businesses, but someone over here is managing multi-billion-dollar businesses. And 5 years ago or 4 years ago, I was managing multi-thousand-dollar businesses. So what's the difference between me today and then? The Seth back then had the same 24 hours as the Seth today. And the guy who's managing the multi-billion-dollar businesses has the same 24 hours that I have. So the difference isn't time. He's not more busy than me. I'm not more busy than him. The question is, how do I manage my time? And this is such a key driver. It feels really discouraging if this is my slave driver, if this is controlling what I do. Tick, 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 tock, cluck, cluck, like around and it goes, and it's every second like, wait a minute, we gotta get this done, wait a minute, we gotta get this done, oh, now we gotta go do this. And there's a certain amount of motivation that comes from time, but if it masters my life, I'm really limiting myself. I can choose how to use my time the way I want. So the big question is this, how do you scale? How do you take a company or anything in your life, and how do you grow it way beyond what you think you can do? Usually it's a mindset. Some people think, I don't have time to run an Amazon business. While other people are thinking, I don't have time to run $14 million businesses. Well, they're both saying the same thing, yet this person over here is doing so much more. What's the difference? It's just perspective. And you can make it happen if you have the right perspective. And there are 3 things I've found so incredibly effective to help me manage my time. The guys, I refuse to believe it anymore. I am not going to allow time to be my dictator. I'm going to choose to continue to grow and to stretch myself by how I manage what I have. Now there are 3 things I want to show you today that you can use. You need 3 things, 3 little steps that can help you to be more effective with the time that you have. Every time someone bottlenecks to a point where they don't have any more margin, the question or the answer is not to do less. That's how we think, oh, you're doing too much. And the answer is not to take away time from recreation, to relax. That is so important. The answer is change 3 things. You know what those are? Number 1, you need people. Number 2, you need automation. And number 3, you need self-discipline. If you have people, automation, and self-discipline, you can absolutely scale anything. And I'm not just talking about business. I'm talking about family, relationships, romance, whatever that is. If you manage yourself right, if you have self-discipline, and you get people to help you with what you're doing, and if you automate the daily little menial tasks as much as possible, it's amazing what you can do. Now let me just show you an example. One of my favorite examples is how we handle tasks. This right here, it represents 90 minutes, time per task. This is a 90-minute task I can do, or I can do what is more comfortable, and I can do ongoing 30-minute tasks every day. Now, what's interesting about this is there's a lot of ongoing 30-minute tasks that we have to do. If you are selling stuff on Amazon and people buy your product, then you need to respond to when they buy the product. You need to send them a message to engage with them. When you engage with them, that takes time. And let's just say it takes about 30 minutes a day to send all your different buyers messages on Amazon. So you have 30 minutes today, 30 minutes tomorrow, 30 minutes the next day, and you keep on going. Well, there are 7 of these 30-minute blocks. 7 times 30 is 210 minutes. Compare that to 90 minutes. Now, if I get up, on Monday and I'm looking at my day and what to do, and I think, man, would I rather do a 30-minute task or a 90-minute task? Guess which one I'm going to pick? Well, of course I'm going to want to do the 30-minute. That takes less time. It leaves me time to do other things. But what I'm not thinking about is that means I have to do a 30-minute task tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And by the time the week is over, if we were to stack these 30-minute blocks on top of each other, it would be a much taller tower than the 90 minutes. So what we have to do is ask this question: what are the one-time tasks I can do to remove the ongoing, continual, little menial tasks I'm doing every day? In fact, we can look at it like this, guys. We have a one-time task over here, and then we have the ongoing tasks. Well, guess what? The one-time task has much greater value than the ongoing tasks if it can remove or at least reduce the ongoing tasks. Here's an example of a one-time task. When you're in the beginning stages of building your Amazon business and you decide, I'm going to either spend money and time getting a trademark, or I'm going to start selling stuff for a while, and hopefully I don't have to worry about a trademark, guess what's going to happen? At some point, you're going to be fighting off people trying to leech off of your hard work, and you don't have a trademark to back you up. Therefore, Amazon can't help you, and you'll spend a lot more time trying to fight off and intimidate the hijackers and the copycats. That is exactly why you need to do the one-time tasks. If you do the trademark right now and get it done, or at least get that started, in the future, you'll save yourself time. You get that one big trademark task, but it saves you all this time trying to fight off the people who are copying what you do. What about when you're trying to find a potential product to sell? If you use software like Amazon, which is my favorite, and it automatically helps you to find really huge potential products, that saves you time. That's a level of automation. It's sort of like a one-time task, but it's more about automating. It's automating your system. So instead of going to Amazon's bestseller list, typing in 99999, trying to figure out how much everyone sells, you just go to Amazon and it does it for you. It tells you what the sales are per day. So you can quickly find out, okay, how many times a day are these products selling? The software will show you in seconds what it would take you if you were to go and put it in checkout box, type in 999, hit save, wait for Amazon to tell you how much are left over, hope that it's accurate, hope that the seller did not limit their account or their listing, hoping that the seller did not block you from seeing that, which can be done, and more sellers, that's good. More sellers are smart enough to do that today than they used to be. You use software that tells you right away. And in this case, you're looking at free software, but even if you had to spend money, think about the time that saves you to find more products to sell to end up making far more money than the money that you spent on that software one time. What about when you get to the build stage? Have you guys noticed that when you're emailing suppliers back and forth and they're talking to you, you have to wait till the next day to get the response, and the next day for them to respond to you because they live in a different time zone than you in most cases? And even if you don't have to wait a day, it still takes longer. So a lot of them say, hey, why not get WhatsApp? So what you do is you get the WhatsApp app. And what the WhatsApp app does is it allows you to communicate with them quickly. So your contact with that factory could be at home. They could be at home making dinner and they see your chat come through and they can quickly answer a short question for you. Instead of you waiting for them to get back to the office, it saves you time. It's another form of automation. Here's another idea. I mentioned to you earlier, you need people, you need automation, and you need self-discipline. Here's a great example of people. When you launch your product, you want to make sure you get reviews on it as quickly as you can because it gives you social proof. And when you have social proof, it's so much easier to get that thing selling really, really fast. Here's what you do. Instead of just going out and asking for a bunch of random people, hey, buy my product, review it for me, you get a list of people who've already told you, hey, I like to review kitchen products. And instead of sending 1,000 contacts out to 1,000 people who might review, you just send it out to 100 people who already said they will review kitchen products and they love to review kitchen products. Your chances of succeeding are much greater. Why? Because you're leveraging people. You're getting people to help you. And that's another way you can save time. What about when you get to the stage where you are growing your store and it's taking longer and longer and longer to respond to people? Instead of doing these little menial ongoing tasks, why not get something like Feedback Genius? By the way, they're my favorite automation system right now for communicating with customers. You set it up so that it'll actually send them a message whenever you want. So 7 days after they have bought the product, it sends them the 7-day letter. It's very personalized. And then maybe a week later, it sends them a letter saying, hey, I hope you love the product. Would you be willing to review it for me? Let me know what you think. If there's anything I can do to make it better, message me here. And it's automated. So you're not sitting there every day typing in these emails. Or, check this out, paying someone to do it for you when software you pay for it once, or it's a small monthly fee, and then it's doing it for you constantly. That's the whole idea here. What you want to have is people to help you, automation, and self-discipline. And self-discipline sometimes is the very hardest part. It simply means when you are on your phone and you see a notification from Facebook, you don't impulsively check it every time. When you see an email come in, you don't just respond to it every time you see an email. You do it in batches. You set aside time, okay, for the next half hour, I'm just going to focus on my emails. Or if Facebook is used for your business, for the next 25 minutes, I'm just going to focus on Facebook. So instead of doing it throughout the day, constantly breaking up your attention, it's been proven over and over again, multitasking does not work. What you do instead is you focus on one thing at a time and you do nothing else. And someone in our community gave this recommendation, I love it. The idea was this: when you start off a task and you get towards the end and you stop or you finish it, instead of taking some break and getting distracted, try this. As soon as you finish one task, go right to the next one. Right to the next one. It's amazing how many things you will get done because the brain, it stays, it keeps its momentum, it doesn't get distracted, and all of a sudden by the end of your day you can't believe how much you were able to do. I am 100% convinced, you guys, that you can grow anything huge if you want. What has to change is us. Now let me talk just briefly about the importance of people. When you bring someone in to help you, because you can't keep growing without people's help, and you've done all the software automation you can, because if you just bring in people for every task, it's going to cost a ton of money. You want to automate with software as much as possible. What you need is people you can trust, who are trustworthy, but people you are willing to trust as well. A lot of entrepreneurs, they're very controlling, they hold things tightly, and it's hard for them to trust someone with the task. I've had to wrestle through this, and I'm growing in this area. You have to give them the task and let them run with it and let them do it well. Now, should you hold them accountable? Yes. And a big investment you're going to have to do is up front, you need to train them. One-time task. You have to train them. That may take you a day. It may take you a week. It may take you 2 weeks until you really feel confident they know what they're doing. But once they know what they're doing, then from then on, they're taking care of this task. And instead of you spending time, you're paying them to do it for you. And now you have this margin to go over here and build your business. You see, the temptation is to always be working in the business and not on the business. Working in the business means this: I get up in the morning, I check my sales, I respond to the questions, I check my keywords, I check my PPC ad campaigns, I talk to the suppliers. I'm doing things in the business, keeping it going. I'm responding to administrative tasks. Working on the business is where you sit down or stand and you plan out where you want to go. Well, we want to launch 3 products in the next week. We want to launch 14 products in the next month. We want to launch 100 products in the next 4 months. And you start making a plan and reverse engineering how you're going to get there. And you create this step-by-step plan. And you start building relationships with new suppliers or better suppliers. And you start doing research on a better material for your product. You're really focusing on growing the business. You're working on it. You're not working in it. When you're working in it, it's not growing. You're keeping it going. But if all your energy is being spent keeping your business going, it will never continue to be growing. It won't grow. You have to do both. And the way you do both is you make sure the working in the business is automated as much as possible, bringing people to help you so you can step away and work on your business and build it up that way. That's how you do it. So you need people you train. They need to be trustworthy, but you have to be willing to trust them and accept the fact they're going to make mistakes, they're going to mess up. Now, if they consistently mess up and consistently drop the ball and you need to fire them, then fire them. If you can't trust them and they're proving themselves, if the reason you can't trust them is because you're not a trusting person, you need to get over it. But if the reason you can't trust them is because they are not trustworthy, and how do you know? They don't follow through on tasks consistently, then you need to fire their butt and find someone else. And do not be afraid to do that. You need to be able to do that. One business executive said this. He's a real estate guy in Austin. He's huge in real estate. When he hires someone onto his team, he says, listen, I love bad news. If you ever give me bad news when it's too late to do anything about it, you're fired. Tell me at the beginning. Be real with me. I want to know the facts so we can get better. One of the 2 big mistakes a lot of companies will make is everyone is either too friendly, like a lot of startups, to where they're afraid to be honest with the other person because they're buddies, eating their ramen soups together every morning and talking and hanging out and, oh, this is awesome. And they're so buddy that they're afraid to offend the other person, to be honest. The other extreme is the corporate problem, the political butt kissing, where you don't talk to someone or tell them the truth or confront them because you're afraid of them. You're afraid of losing your status. Both are bad. What you want is to keep it real. You want to be in an environment where people can genuinely talk to each other, be honest without being critical, encourage and compliment without flattery. See the difference? That's what it means to be real. And that's how you grow a business and work with people. So you must have people. Let me write them on the board just to make this super clear. Guys, you need people if you want to grow huge. I don't know about you, but I have a vision of having an Amazon store in every country in the world where Amazon ends up. Either me managing it with someone or myself. And can you imagine how cool that would be? And all that we would learn and the different life experiences and cultures we would encounter as we grow in that industry? That would be amazing. I also have a dream of becoming the online coaching industry for online entrepreneurs, like the go-to industry. Like Apple is to computers, that's what we want to be to online coaches. That's why we're building up world-class coaches around this team to bring something that no one else is bringing. But to do that, you must have people. You need people. Second, you need automation, as I said before. And I'll just say auto. You get the idea. You need automation. Again, all that means is setting up a system that takes care of menial tasks for you consistently. I would rather a messaging software message my customers than me. Now, if there's a problem, something weird came up, of course I'm going to jump in and send a very custom message. But there's no reason to do something that a computer or robot cannot do for you. Why not have them do it? And I just said them about a robot. Can you believe that? And then come over here and work on something that the software cannot do. Because by the way, that software didn't just create itself. Someone had to design it. Someone had to put it together with a brain, right? Someone had to figure it out and design it. Once it's designed, let it use its worth. Let it be used for what it's worth. And now come over here and make your business huge. And then again, the last one is self-discipline. You know, when we were kids, I don't know what your parents were like. That looks like self-disc, but you get the idea. I don't know what your parents were like, but I think all of us, to a degree, more or less, were disciplined. Whether it was corporal punishment or timeouts or just verbal rebukes or taking away of privileges, why did they do that? And I know that not all parents are perfect, but the truth is our parents loved us, I'm sure at least some, and they disciplined us to teach us, to train us. Well, a sign of maturity and an entrepreneur who's going to make it is they have the ability to stand in the mirror and discipline themselves. What does that mean? It comes from a Greek word that means to train naked. Now, I'm not getting all weird on you here, but it literally, back in the days of Greece when they had the Olympics, they would exercise naked so they would be free of anything. Take it off, take everything off, so they're free and can run and exercise and whatever they need to do without any inhibition. That was the idea, is they got rid of all the clutter. Simple question, what's the clutter slowing you down? Is it Facebook? I know Facebook keeps coming up, but man, it's so prevalent, you know? Is it Facebook getting in the way? Is it emails getting in the way? Is it your favorite video game? I mean, if you really want to make a difference, you want to build a business, then put down the game console and go start doing. I mean, even if you have no money at all, you just have a nickel, that's fine. Trade it until it's a few dollars, go to Goodwill, buy some stuff, sell it on eBay, turn that money around, sell it again, and build yourself an empire. That's what I did. That's exactly what you can do if you give it all you got and if you follow these principles. Now, you may be at the very beginning of building a business where this is not really relevant, the people and the automation. You're going, Seth, I cannot afford $20 a month for automation. I get it. I can't hire someone. Are you crazy? I'm barely paying my own bills. I get it. I've been there. But can you be self-disciplined? Do you want to get to the point where you start building up a team of people? It starts here. And that's why I talk so much about the success of an entrepreneur is dependent on the growth inside. If you want to be rich on the outside, first become wealthy on the inside. Because everything we do is a reflection of what is in our heart. And then it comes out and it impacts how we value things and how we treat people and how we grow our businesses. This is Seth Keep It Real. I wish you success. And when I say that, I mean it in a holistic way. I wish you success. I hope you become rich in every way possible. Oh, and by the way, before I go, I almost forgot this. There's a link below where I include a reviewers list. If you haven't gotten it yet, click the link. You can get it. We have a list of 10,000 reviewers. Not all of them have emails, but most of them either have emails or social media contacts. We pulled it from Amazon. We got the best ones we could find. You can use that to help get reviews on your products, and it's free. Just click the link below and you can get it. All right, you guys have an awesome night. I'll see you later. Bye.